correct spellings. But the other thing is, on a test like you might see in class, the essay questions are usually, if it's an essay, right, it's not like 2 or 3 points. It's like 5 or 10 points. And so right off the bat, you could be down 10 points if the instructor can't read it and you've got a lot of misspellings in it. And then come back and catch up on the multiple choice, because missing 2 or 3 of those is not the same as missing an essay. And besides, what can you do on multiple choice? Guess, right? You can't guess on it. You can't guess on an essay. I mean, you can. and I've read some where you were guessing, actually. I've started, some of you guessed so extensively on some of my tests that now I'm taking off like a point for extensive guessing, also called the BS system. Okay, so the last one.
Dr. Fitz,
Yes, sir?
a question I have is, this is the way I do it, but you may do it totally differently. I'd go write the essay first. I'd leave it. I'd go answer the rest of the test, then I'd come back and prove when I've got a little break. Because getting my thoughts down is so different a process than saying it exactly how I want to say it.
And that assumes you're a good time manager for your tests. Absolutely, that would be the way to do it. To write it out, give yourself a little bit of time to come back to it and review it. And, mark out, don't like scribble through everything, right? Kind of do one little mark. Okay, holy moly.
Spelling error.
Discuss the importance of thermodynamics in the context if we assume Gibbs free energy is in the minus one?
I'm pretty sure you didn't indicate which one on the first prompt. I'll catch you later.
Okay. I'll post these. So if you want to correct them before I post them, that'd be great. How would you, if this were chemistry, I don't know if you would do anything like this in physics, but you could definitely incorporate thermodynamics from physics into this, because it's all the same thermodynamics in essence. How would you prep for this? Because you could prep for this one. Yes, but I think you might even be able to prep a little better for this than just knowing what Gibbs free energy is. I would put an equation in there, that would help. But how might you be able to study and maybe somewhat anticipate this one? Was there anything in the lecture series in this topic that the professor spent like a whole big sequence on, right? Was Gibbs free energy like this really important thing, and there were like 3 lectures on how thermodynamics and Gibbs free energy related to each other, and how you could use it, how you could change the equilibrium constants, or how you could change temperature, or, right? Because oftentimes, if there are topics that don't lend themselves well to multiple choice because you could get really bogged down really quickly, those are good for essays. In which case, you might be able to potentially anticipate this. And sometimes the professor will just say, you know what, this would make a great essay question. Write that down, right? Because sometimes it really does make a good essay question. Sometimes they're just thinking out loud. But on the off chance that that really did make a good essay question and they weren't just thinking out loud, then you'd be prepared for that. What I have posted on Blackboard are 4 very helpful websites that relate to writing essays. There's a difference between a summary type of essay and a more critical or analytical essay, and so this helps distinguish between the two. The one that I thought was the most helpful, if you absolutely like want to pass out or throw up or keel over, because all of those are really bad. All right, whenever you see an essay question, I would start with this website, because this is the one that gives the definitions of the common essay words and helps you figure out how to address those different issues in an essay question. And then practice. Right now, my toxicology class is practicing essay writing, and they are hating every minute of it, but they're practicing. Maybe not every minute, but it's close. Any questions about my section? Okay. That's all I got.
Ask your recently tested friends what their essay prompts were.
They tend to recycle those to some degree. So if you talk to enough people that have taken enough of those tests, you stand a pretty good chance of seeing something like that again. I mean, they won't use the same one over and over and over again, but they may use the same 5 or 6 or 8 or 10. And so your probability, the more people you talk to, your probability goes up that you're going to hear something that you may see again.
And if you actually Google essay questions for the GRE or essay questions for the LSAT, there are websites that will tell you what the most common topics were. Again, they won't give you the exact question, but they'll give you some of the common topics, and that will at least help point you in the right direction. Okay, great. Keep praying for snow, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I love it.